All right, this is going to be the video summary for short paper number 9. Before we get started into that, I do want to let you know about a couple of things. Make sure that you read the announcements that are available to you. There was a typo on my part as far as the schedule in the syllabus. Paper 9 is due a week from Monday, the 2nd, so it'll be due on the 9th. Of November, and then a week after that, paper 10 will be due on the 16th. I had the same dates for 2 weeks in a row, and I apologize for that. Once you get this paper then you'll just have the executive summary left, and I will have a video out for that next Monday for paper 10. And it's only 2 paragraphs long, paper 10 is, and I will grade those and get those back to you within a day or two. For those of you that are still waiting on papers 6, 7, and 8, those I'm about through with those. There's only a handful left. You should get those Monday, November 2nd, at the latest November 3rd on Tuesday. I should be grading paper 8 as they come in. This week you should be getting paper 8, and then finally I'll be caught up. And then paper 9 should not be that difficult. So once you get 8 put in on the 2nd, then the rest should fall fairly quickly and easily. Paper number 9. This has 2 sections. This is what I call the catch-all paper. The official heading is considerations, but it kind of covers everything that you haven't been able to cover up to this point. We've covered everything that I think you all have the ability to put in a marketing plan. There are a couple of more sections to a marketing plan than what I'm requiring, but you don't have to worry about those because it usually deals with financials and pro formas and implementing the strategy, and you don't have that kind of information or access to that information. So this will finish up any kind of research that you might be doing for papers with paper number 9. The 2 sections are social considerations and then special considerations. The social considerations looks at the company as a whole and the marketplace and the different environments in which the company competes in, but mainly the social environment, and looks at that. And I want you to look at a couple of things when it comes to the social environment or social considerations. So this first section of paper number 9 has 2 parts. The first one is social responsibility, and the second one is social trends. Social responsibility. Basically, I want you to answer the question. Please don't retype this question in the paper, but once I finish reading the section, you should answer the question. Excuse me. You should answer the question: is my company, or is the company that makes this product, socially responsible? So how do you answer that question? I give you some things that you can look at. Are they economically responsible, legally responsible, ethically responsible, and philanthropically responsible? Economically responsible, are they making money? Are they investing the money back into the company and research and development, that sort of thing? So are they paying dividends? Are they taking care of their stockholders? Are they building the value of the stock and of the company? Are they being economically responsible? So any evidence of that would be what you'd put here. Legally responsible. Are they obeying the laws and regulations? Are they constantly in the courts and being sued and recalls and being forced to make recalls rather than doing it voluntarily? That would be legal responsibility. Ethical responsibilities. Things like, are they constantly being asked to recall products rather than them doing it on their own? Are they, in the eyes of the public, operating as a corporation should, or in the eyes of the regulators or government as well? Interest groups, how do they approach this company? Is it something that is boycotted quite often, etc.? And then, is it a company that is on the list of best companies to work for? Do they take care of their employees? Do they take care of the community and things like that? Are they thinking about more than the company itself? Are their decision making and their actions do they go beyond the company themselves, and are they being ethically responsible? Do they have a code of ethics? Those sorts of things. And the last one, philanthropically responsible. Are they philanthropically responsible? Meaning, do they have they gained the respect of competitors, of the public, etc., their employees, by taking care of their employees, by giving back to their employees, giving back to the customers, giving back to the community? Are they supporting certain community groups? Do they, not only financially, but with employee time and that sort of thing, do they give back? That one's usually not a difficult one to find evidence of that. The other three, I gave you some suggestions. Ethically responsible. Do they have a code of ethics? Legally responsible. Are they obeying the laws? And economically responsible. Is the company making money? Are they reinvesting it, etc.? Once you answer those or offer evidence of each of those, if they have evidence that they are being responsible in those four areas, then you can say, yes, this corporation is socially responsible. They are have the best interests of society and beyond their company. They do have the best interests of their company in mind, but also others as well. Also in the social consideration section, it would be social trends. Are there trends out there currently in the marketplace that impact your product or that your company has used to take advantage of those trends, or your product exists because of a trend? I give you some suggestions like demographic trends, population size, growth, population of certain age groups, the way age is distributed throughout population, shifts and changes in the population, household trends, income trends, education trends, spending patterns, those kinds of things. Now we're talking about just demographic here. The next one is social cultural trends, things like the health conscious trends, leisure trends, women in the workforce. Are there social movements that are impacting your product or may have brought about the existence of your product? Those are the kinds of things that I would look at here and consider. You don't have to mention each and every one of these, only those that apply. And then there may be some that I don't even have listed here that might be, that might apply to your product as far as the social trend is concerned. The last section of paper number 9 is the second and last section, section 2, is what I call special considerations. Special considerations are things that you have not discussed up to this point, but is something that's very important, impacts your product, impacts your company. And I give some suggestions. In no way am I saying you must cover each and every one of these. These are just suggestions of possible special considerations. Things like electronic commerce. You may have mentioned it earlier in the plan, but it has such an impact on your product, you need to go into a little bit more detail here. The global economy. Again, you may have already mentioned that in a previous section of the marketing plan, but it is so important to your company and your product that you need to mention it again. Environmental issues. That they're trying to reduce their carbon footprint, or they're in an agreement with the federal government to reduce this by this date and all this. In other words, if there are environmental issues, maybe it's negative. Maybe they've been, violating law or regulations. And if you had say a Volkswagen product, then that would definitely be something that would be put in here. Because of the problems Volkswagen's having with environmental issues and corporate lying and that sort of thing, deception. Economic issues, not only in the U.S. but the world, are those impacting your product or your company? Technological issues, maybe something new has been invented that you haven't had a chance to discuss at any great length, so here's an opportunity to do that. September 11th is still having an impact, especially in the tourism business. We just had another example or another airplane over the Middle East to go down, a Russian airplane, and not really sure why. And is it because of terrorist acts? Is that still something that is impacting the product or sales, etc.? Natural disasters like Hurricane Sandy, Hurricane Katrina, there's still corporations trying to recover from those natural disasters years later, a decade later, and that sort of thing. National elections, Obamacare, regulations on certain industries, the still trying to get approval for Keystone Pipeline, those kinds of things. Are they impacting your product? any kind of national issues, international issues, because of who's in power, who's not, and those sorts of things. So, and there are many others besides these. I just listed these to get you thinking in that direction. So, paper 9 is kind of a catch-all paper, looking at social considerations, which is your company socially responsible or not, and are there any social trends that impact your product and company, and then special considerations, anything that you haven't discussed to this point. Here's where you would be discussing that. What does a manager need to know to make decisions about your product? That's the main driving motivation behind putting something in these papers, okay? So that concludes paper 9. I'll have a video out for paper 10 next Monday, and then with that one, it's only 2 paragraphs long. Paper 10 is, so it's very short and brief. You'll be able to write it, turn it in. You can even turn it in early if you like, but you cannot turn it in until the due date of paper 9 has passed. And then turn it in early. I'll grade it and get it back to you within a day or so. So you'll have that input back so you can work on your final marketing plan. I will also create a video for the final marketing plan explaining the write-up for that and things to do. So look for that to be coming in the near future. That's all that we have for paper number 9.